Okay, greetings everybody. I'm Rick Amato, and we are live, ladies and gentlemen, live from the Nixon Library in Yorba Linda, California, at Troopathon 4. What a phenomenal event. Co-hosting with me tonight are two very good friends of the show. Just to my right is Phil Liberatore and Andrew Blount.
Howdy, Rick.
How you doing, Andrew?
Very well, sir. How are you?
Andrew Blount actually built the website amatotalk.com.
My own two hands, Rick.
Standing right in front of us, charging the battery on her cell phone, is Essie Cup herself. So, Essie Cup just got the TV show on theblaze.com, and here we are watching her get her cell phone charged.
We're getting charged. We're getting charged at the same time.
Can you say hi real quick to?
We need that video feed tonight, Rick.
All right.
We're all getting charged, Rick.
I hope you heard her. She's also emceeing the event, so she's under a tight time schedule. All right. Where is John David Kahn? John David, let's step over here a second. Thank you, Andrew. John just happened to be walking by. I wanted to grab him. Folks, you know John David Kahn. You actually went by an alias name for about a year because you did not want to be exposed for a conservative songwriter, a conservative scriptwriter in Hollywood. You were using John David previously?
John David, which was just my middle name. I didn't really think the journey would take me this far, so otherwise I would have come up with a much cooler name.
Excuse me, and the famous song was American Hearts, right? Unfortunately, we can't play it right now because there's a show going on.
We can take a second and imagine how good it is.
What brings you here to Troopathon?
Well, it's they invite me back for some reason, so I sort of like to be invited places.
Well, listen, sitting down next to us with a glass of Chianti is Andrew Breitbart. Let's get the.
Let's bring him in.
Andrew, I heard
John, did you tell the fantastic story you told me outside?
No, I left that out. You tell it.
Are we able to say it?
I think we could turn it into a G-rated version of a not so G-rated, and I'm the one who punctuated it with a brand of evil.
This is Andrew Breitbart speaking.
I think
folks.
it's very important because these are the type of conversations that John and I have been having for years. He started on Big Hollywood when we first launched. Probably the most popular serialized content we've ever had. It was my weekly date with a liberal. And it wasn't weekly. That was a huge lie.
It was a flagrant lie.
Yeah, it was a flagrant lie, but it
was it
every
quarterly.
It was like biannual.
Yeah, but it wasn't because she's not a prolific writer.
Yeah, it was just because I didn't want to do it.
I thought it was because I was going to insinuate you have trouble with the ladies.
Well, that's why I wanted to beat you to it because I felt something bad coming.
Right.
Why is he turning red?
Yeah.
Why is John?
Well, that's his natural state. He has poison ivy. But it was hysterical. Please go to Big Hollywood and type in. You were John David at the time, but now you're John Kahn because you came out in the Wall Street Gerbil, the Wall Street Gerbil,
right?
which is a good idea unto itself. Yeah,
a lesser known periodical.
Let's buy. Please. I'm going to go buy that URL. Okay. He did these great stories, and they were the same thing. They were hysterically funny, but they were almost sad, basically, because he really was raised properly in Hollywood, and he loves this country, and these women that he would date, when they found out he was a conservative, it usually all hell would break loose. And so I brought up at this table outside of the Nixon Library, about that he did this back in the day, and they were apparently just talking about a date that he had just had with a young lady of the liberal persuasion, and I'll let John describe it.
I'll just tell the beginning, and then I'll let Andrew do the punctuation.
First of all, Popaditch just popped in the room. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Just pull up a chair over here if you can, Nick. Go tell your story.
So it was. I just got back from Nashville where I re-recorded American Heart, which we were just talking about.
Yeah.
And I had a date over who was a Seattle barefoot liberal type person. And she goes, "What were you doing in Nashville?" I said, I was recording a song. She goes, "I'd like to hear it." And I'm thinking, no, you don't. You really don't want to hear it. And so I play the first, 2 bars of the song. And the first 2 lyrics are, "I'm American made, and I got American parts." And she bursts out laughing. So I stopped the song, and I said, "All right, let's talk about it. Let's figure it out." And she says, I said, "Why did you laugh?" She goes, "You're not one of those guys who thinks America's the greatest country in the world, are you?" So needless to say, I turned into a teabagger in her eyes. And after further conversation, when I asked her what that meant, what the Tea Party, if she could name one tenet of the Tea Party, she said she needed to further research it. And then I'll let Andrew come in with the punctuation of what he thought should have occurred later.
Well, I'm not sure if I should be stating this, but I said I hoped you defiled her.
All right. And of course...
And so did you? We're all in suspense.
Well, that's the second.
That's called
second
guilt.
date.
That's called guilt-free sex.
All right.
I have to get in makeup.
Thank you.
All right,
Thanks,
Andrew
Andrew.
Breitbart. Thank you. Andrew Blount, you got a grin ear to ear. What did you think? What did you think of what just happened here?
Well, I'm thinking that if he was heading over to makeup, there is no amount of makeup that's going to happen with that gal that he went on the date with.
Phil Liberatore, you know both Andrew and John David Kahn. That was pretty colorful, huh?
Yeah, that was interesting. That was really off color.
All right. To my right is Phil Liberatore, and to his right is Andrew Blount. To my left is a real favorite on Troopathon, and that is the Cigar Marine tank commander at the fall of the statue of Saddam, Nick Popaditch. Nick,
All right. Thanks for having me aboard, Rick.
Nick, we see a lot of each other in the last 2 weeks here, right?
Absolutely. Good to be back in the saddle, back on Amato radio.
What's your personal message to our service people out there today?
God bless you, and thank you for my freedom. Thank you for what you're doing, because you're out there fighting. Thank you for what you're doing. And if I can help out by doing something simple, like hanging out here at Troopathon, I tell you, compared to you guys fighting on the sides of those mountains in Afghanistan, I'm very humbled.
Well, what years did you serve, Nick?
I served 1986 to 2005. Lost my trigger eye, kind of an important thing for a Marine to have. So I was put out to pasture. But I tell you, that's the amazing thing about the Marine Corps. We always joke and say, tomorrow we'll have another one looks just like you, And
Now, Nick, to my right is a gentleman who ran for Congress for the first time in his life in the last election cycle. He may run again, depending on how the redistricting goes. Phil Liberatore, any questions, any thing you want to ask Nick Popaditch here?
Yeah, Nick, we really appreciate everything you've done for us to serve our country. I mean, it's guys like you that really make the backbone of what this freedom is all about. And, we really admire you, Nick, and our hearts go out to you. I mean, obviously you wounded yourself in combat.
Well, I didn't wound myself. There was somebody else that had a very deliberate act in that.
I mean, you paid the price. You paid the price. Let's put it that way, Nick. And
I appreciate that.
we
Mr.
really
Liberatore,
appreciate that and what you're doing for
and
us.
I tell you, that's humbling too, because I'm just one out of 200,000 Marines. Over here at Troopathon, there's just amazing things happening right here. You got Melanie Morgan out here hosting a great event. You
SE
got
Cup.
Your friend Andrew Breitbart, SE Cup, who, when I was on Red Eye, bailed me out big time. It was great to say thanks to her, because I did a Red Eye show, and at halftime, Andy Levy came on, and he, the way he critiques the things you said, and he laid into me about something. I mean, he was just joking, but he was speaking real fast, and I got totally lost what the heck he was talking about. And so I didn't know what to do, so I just looked at the camera, nodded, and smiled.
There you go. Good fallback.
And SC bailed me out. She chimed in and pulled me out of the fire.
There must be something about being a veteran, because she was not about to bail me out earlier when I was To my left is Victoria Jackson of Saturday Night Live. To her left is talk show host extraordinaire Tony Katz. And to his left is Breitbart.tv editor Larry O'Connor.
This is the most overbooked segment of any radio show in the history of mankind.
Are we supposed to share this mic?
All right. Tony Katz has been here.
I got a mic for sale over here.
Tony Katz has been sitting here so patiently. Tony, let's get you on.
Let's talk about what happened here. First it was Andrew Breitbart and John David. Then it was Nick, a true war hero. And then, oh, by the way, another schmuck with a radio show. That's me. That's what I get to do now. And John David is singing. Can you hear this?
John David Kahn of American Heart.
Oh, no, you gotta be super quiet.
All right, we're going to turn it down. We're going to turn the microphones over to John David. All right, we're going to whisper. We're going to whisper because we can't hear the music. Victoria Jackson, Saturday Night Live. You said all your favorite people were here. Tell us about that.
Well, when the communists became president and the Tea Party movement exploded, and I was at the first one on the Santa Monica Pier, Tony Katz was the first person I saw there, and he's sitting right here. And if your hair gets longer, you could look just like Jesus. Just a little longer.
Who was also a Jew. That is correct. Thank you. Thank you, Larry O'Connor.
And I went to his house to raise money for him to win a political position. And I worked with him on the radio. And Dennis Miller show. And Debbie Lee's out there, and Breitbart, who is saving the world, and just caught wieners.
One wiener at a time.
And I can't wait.
You're all there.
And Popaditch, my favorite war hero. And okay, Tony's turn.
All right, Tony.
I've got what? People love listening to you. You always forget the fact that when you speak, you mesmerize a room because people either think you're going to say something so profound that the earth will stop spinning on its axis, or you're just going to pass out. One or the other is going to happen, and we just can't turn away.
And ladies and gentlemen, just so, in case you're wondering what's happening, John David Kahn is singing American Heart to the audience here. And we've been asked to talk very, very, very low.
I'm doing a golf tournament.
We're doing a golf tournament. Larry O'Connor.
John Kahn is up to, he's got an 18-foot putt. Oh, he just missed it. Can I just say, only on John Amato's Amato Talk, KCBQ 1178.
I'm not John Amato.
I mean, Rick Amato. Jesus Christ, that's the fifth time I've done that today.
Where's John?
But only on Rick Amato's show can you get Victoria Jackson to actually do roll call of every person in the room.
Well, you notice all her favorite people were here except Rick Amato.
Yeah, she never mentioned Rick Amato. But she did.
And Rick?
But she did mention John Amato, which is very strange. I have no idea what that's all about. Anyway, Rick, this is fantastic. This is good, absolutely going into the Radio Hall of Fame, I think, this broadcast.
I had no idea what we were in for until I sat down, to be honest with you.
Can we discuss the fact that your two co-hosts who are saying nothing each have microphones? But the three of us who are all guests, we don't have a microphone. We're sharing one microphone. It's like...
How are we supposed to be on the radio when people are telling us to be quiet?
It's a very good question. All right. Okay.
All right, now what do you want to know?
Now we can talk. All right, we can
Let's talk.
Next time we'll take a commercial break. I can talk for real now.
Clearly, the television microphones are a lot better than these. You pass gas over here and they start yelling.
Andrew Blount, any questions for our celebrity guests here?
Not a single solitary one.
Excellent. We can answer that.
We were. Remember when we were at the Green debate?
I do remember
with
that.
who is that guy in the middle? Andy Samberg.
Andy Samberg. That is correct. Andy Samberg was the host of that.
So, that was today or what?
No, it was a long time ago.
Oh.
She still thinks it's 1989. Please, leave Victoria be.
No, see, my life ended when I moved to Miami, and then I get alive again when I come back to town. So it's personal. I'm sorry. I thought this was therapy. I'm sorry. Be quiet. I'm sorry.
Too loud?
Victoria, you have what do you have written on your arm there? It looks amazing from over here.
Well, I got really angry.
He asked about your arm, and you pulled up your top. I just want to.
I got really angry one night, and I got a tattoo.
Is it an angry
but
tattoo?
But I didn't want it to be evil or angry, so it's the name of my new grandchild.
What's the name of your new grandchild?
My first grandchild.
What's the name?
What's the name?
Ever Grace.
All right.
Very, very nice.
I mean, that's a touching moment we just had on radio. Very touching.
That had to hurt, too.
It didn't hurt because I was so angry that night.
What were you angry over, Victoria Jackson?
Well, see, I want to live in Los Angeles, and I keep having to move back to the swamp because of my family's needs. They need me, and I believe in family because I'm a conservative. And so the first time I had to move back to Miami for my husband's work, I got a tattoo on my butt, and it was hidden.
What it said?
Hidden rebellion. It says his initials because he's the reason I had to move back to.
It looks really good.
And then the second time I had to move back was for my grandchild. And so it seems like every time I have to move back, I get a tattoo of the person who's causing me to move back where I don't want to go.
Aha. No,
that's not as sweet anymore about your grandchild.
Larry, tell us about your ass tattoo.
I tell you, it's funny that you should ask me about my ass tattoo.
You can't say ass.
On Rick Amato show, you certainly can.
God damn.
So John Amato.
Larry O'Connor from Breitbart TV.
Where we say ass a lot, by the way. I do have. Here's the odd thing. It's a brand new tattoo, actually. It's of Representative Tony Weiner.
We're going to have to take a commercial break.